It's so obvious. Jasmy, ICP, Render, and a handful of other ultra hyped altcoins will be the first big movers this altcoin season, and we're already seeing it happening in Jasmy. And if you pay attention to this Dune dashboard, you will see that we are flashing a signal for altcoin season that hasn't been this bullish for years. In this video, I'm going to talk about exactly what this dashboard means for us and why these particular hyped altcoins could be the biggest movers in the coming days and weeks. Do me a favor, hit that like button and let's dive into this video. Now guys, if you're already following me over on Twitter, which you absolutely should be, because tomorrow I'm going to be launching a competition where you could win hundreds of dollars of crypto, you could be winning hardware wallets, you could be winning free courses and all sorts of other things, then you would have seen yesterday this post we put up. Top 5 Dune dashboards. And if you go down through the thread to number 4 from Crypto Choreo and click on it, it will bring you across here and you can see one of the most important dashboards in all of crypto. Guys, I'm not even joking. This is basically using all of the information of where Bitcoin dominance, the Bitcoin price, sits versus altcoins minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And when you can see this gray line up here, which is Bitcoin, and this green altcoin signal line down here, you will see that we are flashing a sell your house, buy altcoin signal. That is not financial advice, of course. Don't do that, okay? If you've got a house, congratulations. Don't go and sell it to buy altcoins because that would be silly. But right now, if we plot these different points, you will see that we are in one of the most opportune moments of this entire bull market before everything goes bonkers. It might not feel like it right now, but trust me, this is one of the most important signals we have seen. And let me prove it to you. This is January the 10th, 2021. And this was Solana just before January the 10th, 2021. Look, it was here at around $3. Within weeks, it entered the first phase of its first bull market. It did a 15x. Within literally just weeks, it then had a little pullback correction. And following that, it went on to run basically 100x. This was Solana. Oh yeah, but we're not talking about Solana. We're talking about other ones. Okay, cool. And look, the green line basically came all the way down there. And yes, while we've had other dips, which have caused huge blow-ups in the prices of ICP and Jasmy, which I'll show you in a moment, we haven't seen these dips since that time. This low hasn't been in since that time then. And that is literally where we are right now. Look, and this was the last time we saw a dip. 2nd of September 2023 up until the 26th of September 2023. And this is ICP at that time, okay, just here. ICP was at a dip point here. From there, within a few weeks, it did a 5.5x. It then went up and did basically a 7 or 8x. And if you were subscribed to my channel, you would have been catching my ICP videos that I was making through last year, talking about this coin and why it was worth paying attention to. So what is it specifically about ICP, Jasmy, and a handful of other coins that is catching my eye once more? Because I talked about them a lot last year, and this is something you've probably never seen before unless you are a YouTube crypto creator. It's the TubeBuddy Keyword Explorer, which is where crypto channels come to learn what to talk about on a daily basis. And if you type in Jasmy, you will see it has an excellent amount of search volume. And you can see that Jasmy is a great place to be making videos about because the search volume is pretty damn good and it's pretty easy to compete. Look at this. ICP has incredibly large search volume with monthly searches averaging over 2 million. And I'm not showing you this to tell you how to create a good YouTube video that might get some views. I'm showing you this because irrelevant of price action, these coins have some of the biggest, most passionate communities outside of meme coins. And yes, meme coins still hold the biggest Moon Boy community out there, but at some point that cools off and then we'll run back towards the ICPs, the Jasmys, the Caspers of this world. So why is it such a big deal to have these communities? Well, because I think in the early stages of this altcoin season, some of these coins will run very hot with certain information coming out about them. So why is it so important to have all this hype and attention in the early stages of the market? Well, right now we're waiting for the confidence to return back into altcoins, and we're already seeing it happen in a couple of coins. For example, this news, Japan PM fuels an Apple Jasmy coin rumor with a My Number card announcement. Now there's loose ties between a company called My Number and Jasmy in Japan, and there's a rumor going around that on a phone call between the Apple CEO Tim Cook and the president of Japan, that somewhere in the future they might have a My Number card on it, and the My Number card might loosely be attached to Jasmy, and if that happens then Jasmy is partnered with Apple and is going to the moon, which is pretty good. I'm not taking away from it, but this little kind of like clinging on to kind of like this news that's saying it's a Jasmy Apple partnership caused the price of Jasmy to go bananas, basically just launching itself up around 60% in just the last couple of days. And back earlier last year, I talked about Jasmy and the bullish cases of Jasmy. What was interesting to me was the community that was getting behind it while we were down in this accumulation phase. I still to this day don't really understand why certain coins gather these cult-like followings, but it's not necessarily a bad thing if we are going through some form of accumulation period like this, because eventually any type of catalyst that comes in, piece of news or whatever, will cause the price to explode towards the upside. But all we're simply looking at right now on Jasmy is just a further extension past this Bitcoin chart. So as we can see, Bitcoin is doing very similar things to what Jasmy did, and Jasmy's now kind of broken out ahead of Bitcoin, which it was doing a couple of times last year. ICP also had the ability to break out ahead of Bitcoin, and so did Render, which is why I'm talking about these right now. So while we're sort of sat down in this altcoin season, massive buy signal kind of zone thing going on with Dune, it does seem that these kind of coins, the Jasmys, the Renders, the ICPs, and the other coins with the kind of the cult-like followings could be the first movers. So yes, Jasmy right now is running up into an area, and as we can see right now, Jasmy is already exploding up into this area. Now I would say Jasmy has probably another bit of time to run up and towards sort of 33-34%. And if we take from swing high down to this swing low, you can see that we have broken past the 1.618 without much of a pullback. So it would make sense to see Jasmy having a bit more of a continued run before any significant downside, before any sort of pullback comes in. Now I would say there is an air of caution, okay? Jasmy has already been pumping significantly, so if you are late to get on board with this, then you're probably better off waiting for Jasmy to run into an area of resistance before it has some sort of a cool off. And what does a cool off look like? Well, you can see this was a good area to accumulate into Jasmy, and I think that if we run up into this area, there could be another one over a couple of weeks, not necessarily as long as this one, because this has been playing out for months because of Bitcoin and sideways action happening in crypto. But this here demonstrates the power of community in crypto, and it's become particularly important because crypto as a whole is made up of meme coins. Not just the most obvious meme coins, but crypto in general are kind of meme coins. A lot of these cryptocurrencies out there right now don't really generate anything in particular terms of revenue, which is okay because we're in a speculative market. It's an early crypto market. So when I say like crypto is made up of meme coins, coins out there with massive market caps that are not really generating anything in terms of revenue and are basically based on a promise and an exciting opportunity that the future might hold, are literally being community driven by the narrative, the story about what might come out for it. And I know there's a lot of people angrily writing down below that this guy doesn't like Jasmy because he wrote something mean about it like a few months ago, and even though he was bullish earlier on last year, blah, blah, blah. All I'm really bringing your attention to right now is there is a huge opportunity in coins with big backing, because once confidence returns to the market, it's clear to me that these are the coins that are going to be moving first during this altcoin season. Jasmy already showing that for us. Where does Jasmy go in the future? Well, guys, as with always, anyone's guess, but let's see. Previous resistance comes in at various points. Where does the previous resistance come in? Well, you can see that there are various different points going forward, and there's quite clearly potential for Jasmy to get up towards these previous highs that were seen back before, around 18 to 20 cents, which is like a 5 or so X. And I think there's a good chance of good continuation beyond these points. And I think a 10 to 15X in Jasmy is definitely there for the taking. It has a lot of excitement already behind it. But one thing to consider, that all those people who are already bullish on crypto, are already bullish on Jasmy, are already holding Jasmy. Therefore, if not many people are going to come back in to buy Jasmy, then there's a potential limitation there. But I do think that a 10 to 15X is more than possible for this particular coin. Now, whereas Jasmy has already blown up quite aggressively, ICP has found itself in an interesting position. ICP did already have this kind of like very hype, exciting period of time that was driven by a load of media, a load of people getting into the space, being really hyped up by this. Fundamentally though, what happens is when crypto goes sideways, gets a bit boring, people go off looking for more degenerate stuff, and ICP has probably suffered a little bit because of that, and that's why we've seen a lot of downside action and consolidation, which is good for the smart retailer, because now, unlike Jasmy, which has seen a big pump, you can now potentially get into ICP at these nice levels. And if we look at this on a daily, you can see that ICP finds itself in an accumulation zone, or a reaccumulation zone. This is what I would consider to be a buy zone. ICP sits in this buy zone right now. And yes, we talked about ICP all last year, and we literally told you that we were getting into this coin down at around 2.9 cents. So if you got into that, then great. ICP is a very interesting coin, okay? It's a hugely exciting dream vision of the future, and lots of people were kind of pinning their hopes on this being the future of the internet. It might well be, but I would anticipate that that's probably going to happen, if at all, after this bull market's kind of already blown over, which means that ICP kind of relies on the kind of hype and excitement and the vision that it can kind of explain to people around in the space. But because this vision is so grand, it has already started to implement better marketing than it had before by having the shittiest name in literally all of cryptocurrency. ICP in its grand vision sits behind a lot of narratives that could potentially pump the price. It's kind of loosely doing stuff with AI, it's the future of the internet, it's doing stuff where gaming's being built on it, it has kind of developers starting to build onto it, etc. It has enough to basically drive that narrative and bring more people who could get behind that narrative into the space. And if we refer back to this, because of this search volume and stuff like that, you're then going to have more creators creating more and more stuff about ICP and Jasmy and all these coins, which is then going to keep people coming back to it over and over again. And then it's like a positive cycle that's going to hype up this even more and more. So when it's like hot and running hot, super hyped up like this, I like to distance myself from it a little bit because I don't want to overhype it, because I know people then get stuck into this. But right now that kind of hype and attention has cooled, but it's going to come back. And I'm pretty confident that right now we have a good opportunity to be able to get into this before that hype and attention returns back into ICP and the next catalyst drives it up to 74%, particularly very quickly, which could happen. ICP currently sat at $11. Next areas of interest for ICP. Well, we haven't got up to this $23 point yet. And as you can see going up, these are the previous swing highs, okay, before the dips. Where ICP comes in. Now, I've seen a lot of people being like, ICP for sure is going to go to like $1,000 or whatever, okay? I think if the market runs hot and the bull market gets going again and retailers flood back into the space, of which they're not really in the space much now, okay, apart from buying meme coins and things like that, then we could see a huge deal of excitement return to certain coins. Does that mean that ICP then has the ability to maybe push up towards $137 at the absolute top? Absolutely. Just because you see a chart that says it was all the way up here before, I would discount this on the fact that this was done, manipulated by FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, and we know what happened to them. So possibly ICP offers a good opportunity for some early returns, maybe a sneaky 10x, who knows. But these coins did run very hot when Mania was in the space back in the autumn, okay? That was what first happened to us around that period of time. What we're looking for is that second phase of that Mania to come out. This looks to me like the disbelief zone for ICP before we run into the full-blown bull market, which gives us a good opportunity in that space. Now, there are other coins out there in the communities that have a great deal of hype and excitement. Render is one, although Render is already pretty well extended from previous all-time highs. And you can see swing high down to swing low up to 1.618 is a pretty classic move. Okay, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see more consolidation from Render around this 1.618. And within kind of Render space, there's a great deal of new competition now sort of starting to flood into space. Now we're seeing the launch of Aether. We've seen growth from Akash. You've seen AIOZ and a bunch of other big AI kind of deep in crossover coins coming in, which makes it more difficult for Render. You've also then got GPU.net coming out, IO.net, and a bunch of others. And if you're subscribed to the channel, later on this week, I will talk about some of those new upcoming coins like Aether, IO.net, Peak Network, and some other really, really important new launches that are coming very, very soon. So what I'm saying, guys, there is a lot of communities out there with lots of passion and excitement, which is great. I think it's going to get these coins moving early on, but be very cautious that you don't get wrapped up in this hype and excitement, because there will come a time when you need to be able to sell that coin. You need to be able to distance yourself from that hype and excitement and keep it at an arm's length so it doesn't wrap you up and take it along for the ride. Because if that happens, you're just going to get stuck holding your bags for the next few years, and no one wants to be that guy. So guys, if you want to know exactly when you should be buying, selling, holding coins, then you should be subscribed to the House of Crypto. Now, if you want to pick up ICP, Jasmy, or any other coins that I've been talking about today, then go across to Bitunix, which is linked down below in the description, because you don't require any KYC, know your customer, and it also doesn't require a VPN. But Bitunix is a newer exchange, and while they are listing coins all the time, they still don't have anywhere near the number of coins that MEXC does. MEXC also offers pretty much the lowest fees on the entire crypto market. However, if you are based in certain countries, you will require a VPN to access it. MEXC also has 4,500 different altcoins, which is pretty much more altcoins than any other market out there. If you want to find a crypto and you wonder what exchange it's on, I can almost guarantee you that it's on MEXC. This is linked down below in the description. If you use my link specifically, you get bonuses for each of these. But depending on where you are in the world, you might not be able to access MEXC. Therefore, you need to have a NordVPN, which you can find down below. And if you use my link, you'll get 4 months extra free. And then after that, it's like $2.50 per month to use a NordVPN. Why would you want to use a NordVPN? Well, guys, it allows you to access different crypto websites around the world, no matter where you are. But also, it double encrypts your data, which means that no one is able to spy on you. No one is able to see what you're doing, which is incredibly important in this world of crypto where there's a lot of scammers, people out there trying to steal from you. So if you want to protect yourself while you are trading crypto and be able to access different crypto exchanges, then make sure you use NordVPN. Link down below, guys. You won't get a better deal out there. This is an exclusive deal with the House of Crypto where you get 4 months free, $2.50, which is the price of a cup of coffee, to protect yourself while you're trading crypto over the coming months and years. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow in another video. Bye-bye.